To No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. It is week 11. I don't really know how far away we are from the playoffs because it's week 15 in most leagues now, I believe, is when people will start. Smaller leagues will go 16. I'm in a 14 team, so my playoffs are in 3 weeks. So it's all over the place, but it's the final playoff push for the 2021 fantasy football season, as well as for the NFL season, obviously. A lot of stuff to break down. Some pretty big name injuries that could affect play this week. Much more from last week. So going to break all that down, plus a lot of interesting matchups. Only 2 teams on a bye this week, so should have plenty of lineup to play around with. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zolo. Joining me, as always, Joshua Hudson, Ryan Weiss. Gentlemen, how was week 10 for thou?
Let's just put it this way. I'm still undefeated in 4 eyes.
I am now officially in first place in 4
Are you
eyes.
okay?
I am.
Hell
Yeah,
yes.
I'm 7-3. I dismantled Jorge's team last week.
Wait a second. Is there supposed to be a number?
Hey, I beat Jorge in 1 league too last week. Nice. Sorry.
Is there supposed to be a number after your first number? Mine says 10-0. I don't
doesn't matter till you get to the playoffs, Ryan. Doesn't matter till you get to the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
I lost to Bob Long in 4-eyed by less than 3 freaking points. I was so mad.
I figured I'd lose. Bob Long's an okay guy.
I'll top that.
Well, he has a worse team in that league. That's what sucks.
I'll top that right now. So in 4-eyed, Dave from Fantasy Go. We all love Dave.
Yes.
But we've said Dave isn't the mightiest fantasy player of all. He's in last place in 4-eyed in our division. Oh, Dave, right? So
I think Dave struggles with Superflex because I'm in another Superflex league with him and mistakes were made. So
well, here's the thing.
Oh, that's right.
Dave snuck away with a .04 win margin this week.
Ooh,
.04. He won 189.62 to 189.58. And keeping in mind, he started Ben Roethlisberger, who was on the COVID list.
Ouch.
Yeah. So he won. He won, which is absolutely nuts.
I'd say it's ouch for his opponent.
Yeah, big ouch for his opponent. But yeah, there you go. So a little recap of week 10 right there. RDC questions. I guess let's just get into these before I go into news and notes from Blue Crew. PPR is Chris Carson droppable at this point. He can use his IR spot. His remaining running backs are Nick Chubb, Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders, Mark Ingram. Thank you for the feedback. And he says, great show. He gets the alerts and he's on. We've helped him to 7-3 and 8-2 in $1,000 leagues. That's big time. Yes, I'm 7-3 in my $1,000 league. Blue Crew, let's go.
That's awesome.
Oh,
love it, man. Congrats.
We love to see that. But
at 3-6, I think yes. Why bring a neck injury back in the situation they're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, and especially they have no shot in that division.
I look at it this way though. He said he has an IR spot for him.
No, he said he could use it, though. I think he means he could pop somebody else in there.
I mean, if you don't immediately have somebody else to use, I see nothing wrong with stashing him at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I would hold on to him. But yeah, I mean, it is a way to get. You're 7-3 and 8-2. It's not like you are dying of need.
Well, that's the thing, though, right now. Okay, so Chubb's back. Eli Mitchell is having the finger issue. Miles Sanders designated a return, and then Mark Ingram could lose his job. He is in need in that specific league. He needs, especially if there's any semblance of a running back on waivers, he needs a running back.
If Ramondre Stevenson's available, go get Ramondre Stevenson and just drop Chris Carson because Ramondre Stevenson's going to get as
he
much
was
time.
50% available in Yahoo leagues when I did the waiver article this week. So
yeah, so if
and Stevenson was seeing 8+ touches, I think, for 4 straight games before his big blow up in obviously starting for Damian Harris, who should be back for Thursday.
He is back for Thursday.
Yes.
But again, he's coming off an injury on a short week, so it might be more 50-50 than it normally is. Ramondre Stevenson can catch, maybe not as well as Brandon Bolden, but he's still a receiving threat, so you may see him take even more stuff from Brandon Bolden in that aspect. Also, Atlanta sucks. So if Stevenson's available, I have no problem dropping Chris Carson right now. I don't know how many other people are available. Like, there's got to be like a low tier.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing when it comes to running backs. Waivers is so dry when it comes to running backs. So I don't know who you would really be able to pick up. I mean, granted, Carson's not helping you sitting on IR either, but
here's the thing too: is at least it opens up a roster spot. I think he's asking because Calvin Ridley's probably on his IR right now. Do we think he's coming back this year? I do not think Calvin Ridley comes back this year. In a terrible year for Atlanta, he's just going to focus on him. So I don't think Calvin Ridley. He's on the PUP list, which is a minimum 8 weeks, I believe.
Oh, I thought he was on the NFL I list or the NFI. I don't think it's the PUP. I think he's just at the 3-week standard.
I think Sleeper has it.
Sleeper has him on PUP, so that's what I took it as.
Unless that changed, no, he's not.
Okay, Sleeper has him on PUP. That was the only thing. But
I don't know that anybody outside of Calvin Ridley can accurately answer this question.
I would drop Calvin Ridley right now and put Chris Carson. Calvin Ridley's not mental health. He's not playing. He will not play this year. Why? Why do you need him? You're 8-2. Why do you need him?
Well, it's not about him.
Yeah, at that point you're winning without him, sure. But if he does come back, why would you want to help an opponent? If he does come back.
Well, I was going to say, but it's not a question of why do you need him? He might need, and I assume we're talking about the Falcons. He might need football. He might need to come back.
That's why I say there's nobody outside of Calvin Ridley that can accurately answer this question.
He is on the reserved non-football injury list. It is considered IR. He is a minimum 3 weeks. So
okay, and he's probably
he could come back.
His 3 weeks.
Let me. I actually want to see the Falcons. Rest
I really don't think he.
I'm not saying it's not a fair assessment. I see your point of things, but I just know, like, as someone who has loved a sport, there's also times where that sport is going to help you. So maybe once he gets his head right, he does want to come back and play for the Falcons, and he needs to play this season. Maybe that's not. I don't know Calvin Ridley as a person. So
that's very fair.
I will say his rest of his playoff schedule for the fantasy purposes, not really great.
No.
Panthers at 49ers versus Lions is really the only positive matchup, and then at Bills championship week.
If I'm choosing between Calvin Ridley and Chris Carson, I'm choosing Calvin Ridley.
I would agree with that.
That's fair, but he's gotten by without receivers. We'll just go final designations. They're going to say keep Calvin Ridley, get rid of Chris Carson if there's a running back available. I would say get rid of Calvin Ridley, move Carson to your IR spot, and then pick up a running back. I don't think Calvin Ridley plays this year. So that's that's the bold take. G's happy.
I think Christian might actually have his clip for this week off that take.
There you go, right there.
Calvin Ridley,
Jeff Wilson season is upon us, and Gianni is
very happy. Took him a week to kind of get going, but I was seeing Jeff Wilson early in that game, and I was like,
oh yeah,
where was this last week? Like, goodness.
Here comes the 4 touchdown game this week.
Yep.
Be ready.
Jacksonville. Here comes the 4 touchdown game. Carrington, we don't forgive you. I can't believe you missed the last couple shows because you had to do your job.
Shame. Shame.
God. Pay for Wi-Fi on the plane, dude. What the hell? Forgive Jonah. Should he trade CMC and Jerry Jeudy for Alvin Kamara and DK Metcalf in a PPR? His other running back is Dalvin Cook, and he has Mark Ingram. He's weak at receiver. I really don't think Metcalf is a crazy upgrade over Jeudy right now with how bad Wilson looked. And to me, it's Christian McCaffrey all day over Alvin Kamara, so I don't think you make that trade. I think you look elsewhere for a receiver. But, yeah, DK Metcalf is not a big upgrade over Jerry Jeudy. Name-wise,
and it's
yes.
full PPR, right?
Yes, full
Yeah.
PPR. So
Josh and Kira were having a great discussion about this on Twitter today, so I'll let Josh just take over why you don't make this trade. So
No, I was having some fun because, look, everybody knows I'm Team Sutton. And I know everybody was, Jeudy this, Jeudy that, blah, blah, blah. And look, the numbers suggest that Jeudy has been better. But when you really dive into those numbers, Teddy Bridgewater is just scared to throw deep when Jerry Jeudy is on the field. Granted, they're winning football games, so that's probably not going to change.
Well, they lost last week, but sure, continue.
But they're 3-1 with Jerry Jeudy in the lineup this year.
Meh. Their first 3 games were garbage. Get out of here.
Well, it was only the first game this year that Jerry
also
Jeudy
garbage.
played. So
that's fine. Continue.
But, I mean, really, the point that I'm getting at is, and I pulled these numbers using RotoViz and Pro Football Focus, so I just kind of want to give credit where credit's due. So, week 1 with Jeudy, and then the last 3 weeks, weeks 8, 9, and 10. Courtland Sutton averages only 41.75 air yards per game. Now, obviously, we can, kind of constitute that for what it is. But during those same weeks, Teddy Bridgewater only has 11 pass attempts of 20 or more yards. Just regular yards, not even air yards. That's not even 3 deep pass attempts per game.
Nope.
Without Jerry Jeudy in the lineup. So weeks 2 through 7, Teddy Bridgewater averaged 5 deep pass attempts per game. He is literally not looking to throw deep because he can dump it off to Jerry Jeudy. And that's why Jeudy is compiling all of these stats. But then you look at Judy's air yards in the same time span with Courtland Sutton on the field. He doesn't even break 65 air yards per game. So he's not even getting downfield. This offense is strictly dink and dunk with Jerry Jeudy on the field. Which, again, great for PPR purposes, but
that's what I was going to say.
It is killing Courtland Sutton in fantasy. Absolutely killing.
Okay.
And Teddy Bridgewater made that decision this past week that he was not going to get hurt and lose that job.
Yep. Basically.
Teddy business decision.
Teddy business.
Which really backs up your guys' point that right now, DK isn't that much of an upgrade over Jeudy.
Yeah, I just went and looked on average points per game in full PPR. DK is 5 points over if you look at the raw numbers, but then you have to count in, didn't Jeudy go out in the middle of a game and all that kind of weird stuff. So.
But even that middle of the game, he had, 13 and a half PPR points or something along those lines? Like, it wasn't a bad performance, even leaving early.
Also, I know it was Wilson's first game back. He cannot throw on that finger right now.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I know, like, playing quarterback, you may not think the middle finger is a big deal because you have 2 fingers on either side.
Hey, if you're Eli Manning, you need it for the Manning cast. Let's be honest.
That's true. That's true. But one of the big things is when you throw a football, it's going to roll off your back 3 fingers, and the first finger it obviously comes off of is the middle finger. And if that's not like your stability finger to really help that ball roll off, I mean, we saw passes high, passes low. And it's not like Wilson's shoulders weren't square. It's not like he dipped his shoulder, which is a lot of issues where you overthrow somebody as you dip your shoulder. No, it just looked painful for him to actually release the football. Didn't look like it had as much spin as it normally does. So if that's going to be what Wilson is, I don't want any part of DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett.
Yep.
So.
And for the record, name another running back that's going to consistently put up 20 PPR points without scoring a touchdown.
Yep.
Well, Jonathan Taylor.
Not going to happen. Without scoring a touchdown.
I mean, he had 170 yards against the Jets and a few receptions, so that's 20.
One game.
And last game
consistently.
And last game, that's consistent. That works. Deshaun.
Last game he had a touchdown.
He made a touchdown. So over 100 yards and 6 catches. Would we trade Cordell Patterson for Darrell Henderson? I think Ryan and I are very much on the no train.
I would rather have Patterson right now, honestly.
Okay, fantastic. We're all on the no train. Yeah. I don't know if you've watched a Rams game the last 2 weeks.
God, they've Flick.
but it's not good.
No.
It's not good.
And one of those was actually with Robert Woods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. So I'm not going to say losing in the divisional round was a good call by me. But everyone looked at me like I was kind of funny saying the Rams are going to lose in the divisional round. But we'll see. Elixirs, pick a side. Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. I'm going to go James Robinson or Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott. I will go with the Godwin side of things. I don't like Michael Gallup, but I like him more than DK Metcalf. So
I don't know that I would go that far.
I was going to say, I don't know that I'd go that far. I think I would go the Cooper Metcalf. Again, if that's James Robinson, if we're talking Allen Robinson, that's completely different.
If it's Allen Robinson, don't have anything to do with that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
As fast as possible. I think I would go with the James Robinson side. You're getting 2 good wide receivers versus 1, and James Robinson and Zeke are relatively equal. You have to feel like the floor could fall out of James Robinson first, but haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, I think he only has let me see.
He had that first game, and then he pretty much took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's only had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of his last 6 games, only 1 has been outside of the top 12 at the running back position.
Kind of good. Almost like they didn't need to spend a first round pick on Travis Etienne.
Yes.
But you know what though? I tweeted
this
this on
changes
Sunday.
quite a bit. Hold on. It's James Robinson, but it is standard scoring.
Oh.
Which I feel
If
think
it's
helps
standard,
elite receivers better. Yeah, definitely the James Robinson
if
side.
it's standard, then yes, the James Robinson side, because Metcalf and Cooper are more likely to find the end zone than Godwin and Gallup. So, and
Definitely
to me,
Gallup. Definitely Gallup. Godwin can be hit or miss, but with a healthy Gronk, he's going to lose red zone work.
Exactly.
But they do look at Godwin quite a bit in the red zone.
And Robinson and Elliott are a wash. You can almost just assume they're going to score one touchdown every week. So that's kind of a wash there. Yeah, I would go with the Amari Cooper side of that then. Sean, good to see you,
What's up, buddy?
man.
What's up?
We've been
Sean,
trading some DMs lately. He took over an orphan dynasty team, and it's I think they were 0-9 heading into last week, and he's like, I got to get at least 1 win. But I'm like, you don't need to get any wins, bro. Tank and load up, mother.
Sean, I've had 3 wins this year. 1 is against Ryan, where he was projected to beat me by like 70 points.
6,000 points.
Failing upward is what I call that win right there. Carrington, he traded Amari Cooper, Pat Freiermuth, and Alvin Kamara, and got Christian McCaffrey.
You win.
Chuba Hubbard and Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Currently the 1 seed in a PPR. Good trade. Carrington, Carrington, if you ever watch the show The League, they had this saying.
Nope.
They had this saying.
We are a Women of Fantasy Football affiliated show.
I know women that watch The League.
We are not going to use
Maggie laughed at that joke. But Carrington, anyway, if you haven't seen the show, go watch it. You'll probably say, I don't know, I feel it's probably like 4 or 5 episodes in. I think Pete does it to Ruxin.
You won the trade.
You won the trade. You won the trade. You won the trade. From Cade, rank 'em. Moss, Pollard, Madison, Foreman. Deonta Foreman won. Everyone else is irrelevant.
I was going to say,
week, yeah.
I assume
This
we're
week.
talking this week, and honestly, move Foreman to the front of the line, and then the rest of the line is in the correct order. So
Yeah.
Definitely don't like Moss this week, nor Pollard. Madison is irrelevant with the healthy Cook. So yeah.
Yep. They do.
And
not
Foreman's
care
taking
about
over
Madison.
those snaps right now. I know everybody jumped on the McNichols,
And it's a
bandwagon,
revenge game.
I was about to say, no one's even talking about the Deonta Foreman revenge game.
Joe, I promise you, when I did my projections, I slapped a touchdown on his name so fast. I was like, yes, revenge game.
I'm on the 150 yards and 3 touchdowns train from Deonta Foreman this week. So
I think if you could cut
That's
those
bold,
yards down
but
to him, I say maybe 50 yards the way.
Yeah, they are splitting the carries pretty
they're
well,
splitting
but I think it's
crazy.
going to be a pretty run-heavy game. Houston, not great at stopping the
The
run.
long and short of it is I was very, very wrong about Jeremy McNichols.
A lot of us were.
Yeah.
They're still using him in the passing game, though.
I was going to say, he is still the most, I don't want to use the word prolific, the most high volume passing, but it's nothing like what I don't understand about the Titans is when Derrick Henry, I don't remember what it was. They had blown it out or he had missed the snaps, but there was a game where wow, I've completely lost who we're talking about. Jeremy McNichols had like 7 targets in a game as like the backup, but now all of a sudden you just stop throwing to the running back altogether, but you still have the guy that you were willing to throw to 7 times. I just don't understand what
too easy.
But, yeah,
too easy. Yeah, and also Deonta Foreman looks out of shape. Just for the record, he looks he looks so slow compared to when he ran in Houston. I know that was like 3 or 4 years ago, but he's still.
Well, I mean, you're also talking about a guy that, so 2,000-yard rusher at Texas, and then he blew out his Achilles his rookie year, and that's where
he
lot
was
of
good his rookie year too when he was playing.
Yeah, he was looking good, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's taking over that job from Lamar Miller. It's a wrap." And then the Achilles tear, and that was that. So.
Yep.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing with that particular injury is not every running back bounces back from that.
No, he was the cautionary tale until Marlon Mack actually was able to play a little bit this year. But then I wonder if us not seeing Marlon Mack is a product of that. So,
no, Marlon Mack's just bad. That's really all it is. He also asks how do we like him long term? I'd say if he performs this week, the week after he'll get more run. The week after he'll suck because that's what happens. And then he'll be good the rest of the time. He'll be like
your biggest concern is that he gets stopped on the 1-yard line because Adrian Peterson is going to see the carries inside of that small zone. They're not going to not give it to AP, and that's your largest concern is you need him to get in from outside of the 5-yard line.
Oh, and Adrian Peterson still looks out of his mind at 36.
It's insane. It's not fair.
And you know what though? The next 3 weeks? So they're
Titans have a good schedule.
Texans at Patriots versus Jaguars. The Steelers, the next opponent, haven't looked great stopping the run.
No.
And then they get the Dolphins in championship week.
Yeah, they
got the 49ers mixed in. Like they have some good run defenses coming up.
Excuse me. Bad
good
run
for
defense.
fantasy.
Yes. Bad run defense.
Good for Deontay Foreman.
Yes. Okay. We still have more. We are 22 minutes in. We're literally going to need to fly through everything we have on the
I was going to say,
that's
what
fine.
This show is going to be.
That's fine.
And that's
From
okay.
G, would you trade James Conner for Hunter Renfrow the rest of the season? PPR, he has Cook and Jonathan Taylor as his running backs.
Wait for the next part of the question. I was going to say, Josh, you're shaking your head. No, you got to see the next part.
Thielen, Beasley, and Shepard as top 3 receivers. Yes.
Dude, you can get, look, I love Renfrow this year. You can get more. James Conner is a top 8.
So that's what I was going to say is you could probably do better, and you may even be able to do equal on the waiver wire. I love Renfrow as much as anybody. Shepard is droppable. Joe clearly knows the waiver in this league, I'm guessing. So
No, I don't know the waiver.
Oh, you're just saying Renfrow.
You guys are just criminally underrating Hunter Renfrow. I'm sorry. 7 catches, both of the last weeks, and a touchdown.
For a top 6 running back, you should be able to get a top 15 wide receiver. And right now, Renfro's not that. And he won't be that rest of the season.
I don't know about that.
He's barely top 30.
I mean, see if you can throw in Sterling Shepard and at least get another piece back.
I do it straight up. You don't need James Conner. I do it straight up. You don't need James Conner. If you want to try for someone else, go ahead.
I mean, Cook has already missed games this year. I would argue.
I hoard running back depth. I have a league right now.
Play him in your flex.
I have a league right now where it's like a 6-person bench and 5 of them are running backs, and people just keep sending me trade offers. I decline them damn near before I even look at them. Like, nope, you get nothing.
You know who number 13 is? Hunter Renfrow, because that's the number he wears. Okay, listen,
Oh my God. I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
Come on, Ryan, get with the program here. I don't know, dude. Do whatever you want. Clearly, these 2 idiots don't think Hunter Renfrow is worthy of the trade, but I do. You know my feelings on Renfrow. So, CMC or Deebo Samuel and Joe Mixon, which side wins?
This might be a side where I go against CMC. For me, it depends on your wide receivers. Like, if you feel like you need a strong number 2, or in this case, number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah, because Deebo's a dog.
Shout out
Mixon
to
holds up just fine. So
shout out to Deebo for making me look really good this year after everyone was on the Brandon Ayuk train.
Yeah,
I definitely fell for that trap.
Yeah. Shout out to Deebo for making me look like a genius this year. So, I would go with the Deebo and Mix
You
inside.
have to.
At
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Tony and Judy are his receivers. Yes, you go with the Debo Samuel side. Oh my God, yeah, you go with the Debo Samuel side. But bite the bullet on Christian McCaffrey. Debo Samuel's.
I mean, it
averaging-
definitely hurts giving up McCaffrey, but yeah, I mean, you're still getting a solid RB1, and you're getting arguably the best fantasy wide receiver not named Cooper Kupp right now.
Yeah. From Blue Crew, Renfro or Beasley? Come
They're
on,
the
man.
same freaking player.
No, they're not.
Bro.
Hunter Renfro makes Cole Beasley's route running look like elementary. For the
In
record.
terms of fantasy production, they're essentially the same receiver.
Hunter Renfro,
It's Renfro.
not even close.
I would go Renfro just because he hasn't been vocal about being an anti-vaxxer. So
Hunter Renfro, for the fact that he's not in an offense where he's like the 7th option. Elixirs, Higgins, Cooks, Agnew, or fucking Jamal Agnew. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I was forced to start Jamal Agnew last week. Nice little
I've been starting
yard
for
touchdown.
weeks now.
I've had him in my DFS, a few DFS lineups for 3 consecutive weeks at this point, and he cashed for me last week. So
I would go.
Dirt cheap. Has he even broke 4,000 on DraftKings yet?
I'm the only person I know who plays on FanDuel, so
All right, fair enough.
but he's cheap there too. He's my bottom dollar option in my flex every single week. So
I would go T. Higgins and Jamal Agnew.
I'm going to assume, well, I guess it could be T. Higgins because we're talking Brandon Cooks. I love Brandon Cooks this week. I would probably go, they got the Raiders. I would go Higgins and Cooks. I would leave Agnew on the bench.
I feel like this is a trap game for Cooks. And the reason I say that is because the Titans being so bad in like terms of giving up fantasy points, their defense has been legit the last like 4 weeks.
They are a ticking time bomb, though. That defense is not as good as they have been playing. They really aren't.
Which, I mean, is fine, but are they going to blow up against the Titans or the Texans, excuse me? Like, that, I don't...
Coming off a bye week.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That has nothing to do with it. No,
Yeah,
Jamal Agnew and T. Higgins.
I mean, so I just want to throw out, though, it's easy to say that, but they've still been bad against wide receivers. Traquan Smith and Marquez Callaway scored. Cooper
That's
Kupp
true.
the week before went for 95. Robert Woods went for 98. Michael Pittman went for 86 and 2 tutties in week 8. They've gotten better, but not against wide receivers. I completely agree. This could end up being a boat race, 31-14. Both of those 14 could come from Brandon Cooks.
That's fair. I mean, Higgins is the definite one for me there.
Agnew's the
Agnew
big
feels
swing.
safer, I will say that. Cooks definitely has more upside.
I love Agnew. If he doesn't bust a 60-yard run, you're very
He's
disappointed
worthless.
last
Yeah,
week.
he's worthless
so.
last week. Yeah.
They still pepper him though.
Oh,
I mean, they still
they
give
pepper him
volume.
and they manufacture touches for him. And there's almost no better thing in football right now than when your team is manufacturing touches for you. So
From Oyel, I think. Dylan, Saquon, or James Conner this week? Who the Packers playing?
That doesn't matter. You're starting AJ Dillon.
They're playing Minnesota.
they're playing the Vikings. You're starting AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Yeah, they're playing Minnesota. You're starting AJ Dillon. Okay, Deonta Foreman or Holiday?
I guess that's Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay. Deonta Foreman. Not even a question.
Foreman.
Yeah.
There's zero faith in Galladay. I mean, I know they go against the Bucks on Monday night. And the Bucks
Yeah,
pass
but you
defense
also
is
should
kinda
have Sterling Shepard back. You don't know how they're going to handle Kadarius Toney. I mean, Galladay led them in targets their last game. I think he only had 6. That's a baseline number for Sterling Shepard. And then we've seen Toney do more than that. It's going to be interesting. I'm not touching that offense until I kind of see a game where everybody plays. And this is a good week for it. So,
yeah. What are we at for subscribers right now? I just want to know so we can.
We were at 268 starting the show.
Starting the show. Okay, well.
We're at 269 right now, and I don't know who.
69.
Subscribe.
Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Nice.
So I asked that because We are now 31, quick math, away from our
Yep.
next subscriber giveaway, which will be just a random signed jersey, football, mini helmet, whatever it is. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure your profile is public. If it's not and you win, just message us on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and we'll be sure to get you your signed giveaway. But 31 people until we get that mark. Once we hit it, we will do the giveaway. Spin the wheel live on the show after. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, we have a lot. Someone just won a Javonte Williams signed UNC jersey. So
Yep.
a lot of cool stuff in Josh's closet. Elixirs. RB2 slot is drier than the Sahara.
Love it.
Look at you.
Amazing.
Little that was good. I like that. Moss, take a chance with CEH or pick up JD McKissick in a standard. Return yards count as 25 yards equals 1 point in his league as well.
Do
if
any of
that
those guys
changes.
return? I haven't watched a Washington
I'm sorry.
game.
Okay, so real quick.
I mean, it counts more towards Agnew.
Oh,
yeah, that's
Agnew.
Oh my
that's what he was
goodness.
saying.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
still I was still on the Agnew train regardless, but yes, that actually does play
So-
opinion in there.
I'm always
this one.
so high on Jamar Chase, it ends up making me low on T. Higgins. So I would go Cooks. I understand what they're saying about the trap game, but Cooks is the top, I think, 5 wide receiver for me this week. There's no way I could bench him in any league. So
Okay. So who would you go to here? Zach Moss, CEH, or McKissick? Is CEH back? Is he-
no, they're saying it's looking more like week 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh god,
Zach Moss or pick
Moss
up
has such a bad matchup this week too.
playing Indy, right?
I just don't know how you could feel comfortable relying on McKissick in a standard league.
Well, not to mention, Washington doesn't have a great matchup for running backs either. If you're just choosing,
Yeah,
Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah.
yeah, I'd go Moss.
I think
yeah,
I would
you
go
go
Moss
Moss with the
here.
touchdown upside.
Yeah.
That's really where you're playing there. Yeah. You said sorry, that was Tony and Judy. Drop Corey Davis or Elijah Moore in a half point. I mean, you got to drop Elijah Moore in my opinion, but
Oh, I know Moore has been catching the eye, but now the question is, who does Joe
who's Joe
Flacco
Flacco
love?
throw to?
Yeah. I feel like Flacco would lean more Davis.
I think he would too.
Yeah, Moore
Or
looks
the
good.
Veteran presence.
The few things I've caught of Moore, and I've made a point to go back and watch some of his other stuff, he's starting to look good, and this is when rookies blow up. I will openly admit I've dropped Corey Davis in quite a few leagues. That was pre-Joe Flacco. If I have to drop one of them right now, I would probably drop Corey Davis just because.
I guess for me, it depends what your current record is. And the reason I say that is because if you're sitting at, say, 7-3, 8-2, maybe even 6-4, I don't feel like you're desperate for maybe the consistency that you should get from someone like Corey Davis. Like you can pay for the pop in the rookie, and then you can just kind of stash them. Because again, we see rookies all the time. They pop in these like championship weeks and become league winners. And maybe that is what Elijah Moore is this year. So if you have a really, really good record, I think stash Moore and then feel free to drop Davis. But if you feel like you need to start one of them this week to salvage a season, I personally would trust Davis more this week.
I'll give you that. First game with Joe Flacco, if I'm looking to trust one this week, I would also trust Corey Davis. So.
God, I remember before the season, we did the Jets preview. And I think everyone on this show said Corey Davis would be a top 25 wide receiver. Except me, who said he wouldn't even crack the top 35.
Oh, my God.
I
It's-
wasn't
it's-
that high on Davis.
It's just
That was more
strange. It's
Ryan.
just strange that a guy who was in a wide receiver 1 role and didn't produce until he became the wide receiver 2 was then thrust into that wide receiver 1 role and is now again failing because he's garbage. So
He's the wide receiver 22 on points per game.
he's wide receiver 40 on the season. So I
Actually,
mean
I was still on standard. Hold on. That may be incorrect. I don't want to lie to the people.
wide receiver 40 on the season is what I'm looking at on Fantasy Pros right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he missed games. You can't just go by end of our.
So, but
Wide
my
receiver 28.
my
I
point
mean,
being,
to be fair, he has 2 top 10 finishes.
congratulations.
And then 2 additional top 24 finishes. Like that, I mean, that's in over half his game. So he's producing when he plays.
Undrafted Kendrick Bourne has more fantasy points than Corey Davis. I'm just saying there was no reason to spend draft capital on that bum. Van Jefferson has more.
Started Corey Davis in the first 2 weeks. You were pretty happy.
You're pretty happy, and then after that, what happened?
Hey, it was worth the draft capital.
I don't know about that.
I mean, his last 2 games, he's been wide
like
receiver
a
19,
7th or 8th round, maybe even a 9th round pick. It's not like you paid up for Corey Davis at all.
Yeah, you still paid for him. I don't know. I'm just saying, he wasn't worth it. From Cade, Darrell Williams and Christian Kirk for DK.
Yes, quickly.
Oh yeah, I would do that. I mean, Darrell Williams isn't going to have a job in a couple weeks, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, how does it feel to be that Raiders DB and get mossed by a running back?
Oh, I know, right?
on a god awful throw, like that should have been intercepted. On a god awful pass from Patrick Mahomes, despite the 5 touchdowns, still not making the smartest of decisions with the football.
Nope.
That should have been intercepted. So, yeah, get rid of Darrell Williams, DK Metcalf. Darrell Williams' time in the sun is coming to an end. I assume he's related to you, Ryan.
No.
Wow, strange.
That's my cousin.
Okay. Stephen Weiss Jr., Ryan's cousin. A-Rob, Michael Gallup, Sterling Shepard, Wayne Gallman, and a peeper. Start 2. Let's get it. Gallman and Gallup, that hurts.
Literally what I was going to say.
I was going to say, there's talk that Patterson might play, and if he plays, Gallman's useless.
I mean, Gallman is stealing work from Mike Davis at this point. I wouldn't go as far as calling him useless against that New England run defense. It might be all they have going.
Isn't Shepard questionable and he plays Monday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does hurt.
A-Rob just sucks. And then Michael Gallup is like the default yes here.
Here's what's interesting. I actually like Justin Fields this week. Baltimore's defense is not good.
But how do you like Allen Robinson? Like, I like Darnell Mooney. I don't like Allen Robinson.
I love Darnell Mooney. In a full PPR, if Patterson goes, I would pivot to the 2 wide receivers, not Shepard. I'm not starting Sterling Shepard this week. So I would go A-Rob and Gallup if Patterson goes. If Patterson doesn't go, Gallup and Gallman.
That's fine.
I think that's fair.
I could agree with that.
Robinson has, last week he had his best game, and then they head into the bye to kind of fix a few things. This could be the start of Allen Robinson finally.
I just want to throw out that this is the lowest stakes question ever. He straight up is trying. No, he is tanking this year. It's a 3-keeper league, and he is.
You're tanking.
Also, we're trying to lose.
No.
Shepard and Gallman.
He's won 2 in a row. He's won 2 in a row, and he has to stay in the bottom 4 because the bottom 4 are the only people who are eligible to play for the first pick of the draft. So he's winning right now because it's very low stakes. He doesn't care if he loses. He's built an amazing draft for next year. I don't think he has a pick after the 5th round. So he'll pick his entire team before the 5th round even ends. And like I said, it's only a 3-keeper league. He's going to be nasty next year, but it's the lowest stakes ever for this year.
So just don't start anyone in those spots, I guess. Yeah, right. Really what you're going for there.
He's been doing really interesting stuff. He doesn't care if he wins so much as long as he stays. Like I said, he doesn't want to get out of the bottom 4, but like he'll not start a kicker all day until he sees if he might be able to win, and then he'll throw a kicker in there. Like he's a goof.
Love it.
James Conner or Antonio Brown?
I don't think
Conner.
I don't think there's going to be a choice. Oh wait, this is a trade. I apologize.
Yes.
I thought we were looking for the week.
James Conner.
But isn't this the same team where he's like super desperate a wide receiver? But again, I don't think AB plays.
AB doesn't move the needle.
Hunter Renfrow moves the needle more for me than Antonio Brown right now at this point.
I think, I would agree on that.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not looking to acquire Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Jonah, again, he just received an offer for Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton, and Chase Edmonds for Nick Chubb and Josh Allen. His quarterback is Cam Newton. So basically he would be replacing...
Oh, he's giving up his CMC.
Yes. So his quarterback's Cam Newton. He has Christian McCaffrey and Chase Edmonds. He would get Nick Chubb and Josh Allen. So he'd be getting rid of garbage and getting Josh Allen as his quarterback.
And replacing CMC with Chubb. I'm good with it.
I would, if your quarterback is Cam Newton, I would 100% do that trade.
I would do it, but keep Chase Edmonds. Why are you throwing him into the deal?
Well, I don't think he said he received the offer, so they're trying to take Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, no, okay.
So maybe counter where you don't have to give up Edmonds.
Yeah, I mean, I know Edmonds is hurt right now, and I feel like that's really why they're just trying to take advantage of that. But I'm assuming this is a 1 QB league. I absolutely cannot stand trading for quarterbacks because you always end up parting with great players, and that's what you're doing in this instance. You're trading for CMC, and I would much rather value the running back here at CMC over the quarterback in Josh Allen. I understand you're still getting a really good running back in Chubb, but unless it's standard, that kind of hurts.
Cam Newton is so bad. Josh Allen.
Look, I get it.
He's so
bad. I get it.
I'm back. Fucker, you ran 1 yard. You ran 1 yard.
To be fair, he did throw another touchdown in the game.
He accounted for 3 total yards that entire fucking game. I'm back. Shut up.
He's been on the team 2 days.
I could be on the team 2 days and throw a 2-yard out route. Like, what? Also, why is it now that Robbie Anderson can catch now that Cam Newton's throwing him the football? What happened there? I
mean, didn't we say, or I know I did say that Robbie Anderson would struggle with Sam Darnold this year?
I mean, none of us liked Robbie Anderson going into this year.
My favorite analysis was that Robbie Anderson and Darnold had this chemistry. And it's like we all hated Robbie Anderson with the Jets.
Ugh. So it is a tough one. Listen, you did the right thing by acquiring Cam because now chumps are going to try and trade for him. It's a steep trade that you're doing. If you're a winning team, I wouldn't change the formula. But if you are like 4-5, maybe 4-6 at
that point.
Yeah, 4-6, 5-5. Maybe you lost your last couple. It's worth it to then change it up.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm okay with keeping Cam.
And there are definitely worse running backs that could be a part of this trade. Like Nick Chubb's a baller, and if he comes off COVID this week, he's absolutely balling this week
against Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running back 17 on the year, and he's missed 1 or 2 games, right? Or has he just missed only
3? I think.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Because he missed 3. He missed 2 with the injury, and then last week with COVID.
Yep.
Cordero Patterson is running back 9. What is life? What is life? Okay, 42 minutes in, haven't even touched the show sheet yet. So
we didn't even do news and notes.
No,
we haven't gotten through anything.
These news and notes in the intro.
Yeah,
haven't done anything.
My my throat's a little sore from being a little stuffy and having a sore throat this week. So I'm gonna have to fly through this show sheet at the end. All right, Cade.
You can always help, Joe. It's okay.
No, I refuse. Need a backup for Rodgers. Does it go Fields, Jimmy G, Bridgewater, Daniel Jones? I think we can all say in unison this one is Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah.
Definitely has more upside, but Jimmy G's been hot lately.
Jimmy G's look good.
Yeah, I think the last 3 games he's like QB2 or something.
I mean, let's be clear. Debo's look good.
Yeah. Well, but
Debo's made Jimmy Garoppolo look really good.
Yeah.
So all that matters though. As long as that's what that offense is predicated on. It's yak. All he's got to do is get it in their hands and let them do the rest.
Exactly.
What was that stat they flashed? A.J. Brown is like 6.6 average yards after the catch, and Deebo Samuel's like 9.7.
Yeah.
It's not even close. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Justin Fields in that question. Sean, the only question is curious is everyone's opinion on what value do you put on Nick Chubb in Dynasty? Like Josh, he said 0-9. My guess is 0-10 now in rebuilding Superflex tight end premium. So 2 points for reception. Also have a quarterback.
I mean, I put a high price tag on him. You're going to need... Here's the issue. If I'm moving Nick Chubb, because at 0-9, I don't know how quickly you're going to be able to recover on a dynasty team, as in next year either. You're talking about 27-year-old Nick Chubb before you're a contender. You need to move him now. The issue is only a contender is going to want him, and you need to get a young quarterback. And I don't know that anyone in a contender is going to give you a young quarterback if they're playing him. But I would be looking for don't focus on getting a running back back. Running backs age, that's what you use the draft for. You want to get a young quarterback with it being tight end premium. I don't even know that there's a tight end out there that you could say has value. Maybe Pat Fryermuth, if someone's willing to move him. And then I would say a young quarterback and another piece is what I'm looking for out of Nick Chubb, plus draft picks. You might not be able to get a 1 if you're getting a quarterback, but even if you got a young quarterback, a piece, and 2, that's pretty fair.
Would you do Mac Jones and 2 firsts for Nick Chubb?
I would.
On an 0-9 team, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would absolutely. And that's one thing. So a couple weeks ago when we did Club Dynasty with Josh Larkey from Roto Underworld, that's actually what he talked about, was one of these quarterbacks that he would be willing to buy high on was Mac Jones. He's like, I would have zero issue paying 2 first-round picks.
He's in a system that is proven to produce quarterbacks.
He
of all of
so
these
good.
quarterbacks, I know that I'm getting at minimum 10 plus years of consistent production. Yep. Like, I know everybody in fantasy falls for like the Konami code with the QBs and the rushing upside, etc. But there's a price to be paid for consistent passing production. And I think of all of these quarterbacks that we've seen so far this year, the one that really stands out right now is Mac Jones. So yeah, if you can find somebody that, you know, whoever has Mac Jones, if they're a contender, and you can get Mac Jones for Nick Chubb, and I would say even 1 first, Mac Jones and 1 first for Nick Chubb, I think that's worth considering. But 2 first or even a first and a second, I would pull that trigger right out the gate right now.
Yep. The young quarterback is key on a rebuilding team.
I initially told him a young wide receiver, which I think is fine as well.
That's fair. In a super flex, I want young quarterbacks. Like if I'm trading away big pieces.
That's the problem. So, the other 9 people in the league, if it's a 10-team league, also.
But if they won a championship this year, they want Nick Chubb too.
That's true. Very true. I will say the offer that he did get initially that he sent me was 2022 first and Amon-Ra St. Brown for Nick Chubb, and I said, nah, not it.
No way. No shot. From that's what we're going with. Tua or Herbert.
I like to think he's Spanish, so I'm going to say it.
Get it? You cannot bench Justin Herbert for Tua. You cannot bench Herbert for Tua.
What a rough.
I think you could this week though.
I don't. I really.
Herbert's matchup not great, and homeboy has struggled the last 4 weeks.
It's LA at home against a team traveling 3 time zones over, and they might not have TJ Watt or Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Or Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, actually,
those are definitely, and that's the thing. I feel like you might end up having to take it right down to Sunday. I mean, it's,
and
I don't know. The Steelers D has been stingy to quarterbacks. They've only allowed the 7th fewest so far in the year. I mean, as I mentioned, like Herbert's not looked good. I mean, 3 of his last 4 games, he's been under a 60% completion percentage.
Shockingly enough, in what 3/4 of a game, Tua was the QB 15 last week.
And he's going against the Jets. They're finally saying, all right, yeah, sure, we'll trot you out here. Like, if you're going to beat up on a team and prove your point, this is the week to do it.
Yep. And I know we talk about the Jets, but Miami is also bad. So this might have to be a real football game. So,
yeah.
I would still lean Herbert.
Let me be clear. I'm making a case for Tua. It's Herbert for me.
Yeah, and day. also
that's also the Sunday night game too. So
Sunday
you may
night,
not even know until like 5, which
it would suck. But Tua as well, like that's a division game. We all say we have no clue what to expect out of division games. For the Chargers Steelers, again, I hate East Coast teams going west and playing. I hate the opposite side even more. But I don't like East Coast teams going west and playing, especially if they don't have their damn quarterback and arguably the best defensive player in the NFL.
Yep.
And TJ Watt and a top 5 safety in Minkah Fitzpatrick. If they're missing them and Herbert can't produce, I mean, then at that point,
I feel like Watt is probably more likely to play.
Yeah.
Because Minkah's on COVID list, so he needs 2 positive tests. So,
but I mean, Watt. This is the second time Watt will have been injured this year and had to come out of a game.
Fair.
So, and again, I don't know if it was the same re-aggravated injury. I haven't looked into it. But if Watt doesn't go, no one is touching Justin Herbert. And also, if TJ Watt is coming off the left end, which he rarely does, he's normally coming off the right, Rashawn Slater will lock him up. Will lock him up. He's been so good. So Herbert's backside will be fine. Just avoiding anyone from the front. Another one from Hehehe. Will Chubb play? And if so, should he start him over Gaskins or James Robinson?
I mean, he needs 2 positive tests. I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing. Let's assume, obviously, if he's not, you're playing Myles Gaskin, James Robinson. You're pretty happy with both. If Chubb plays, do you play him over Myles Gaskin? Because I don't think you're playing him over James Robinson. Do you play Chubb over Myles Gaskin, knowing Gaskin is playing against the Jets, but also knowing Chubb is playing against the Lions?
Yep.
I would go Chubb, and that's not.
I do. If Chubb plays, you're starting him. Plain and simple.
Yes.
The real question is, are the Jets juicy enough to get you to bench James Robinson against the 49ers?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's close.
Hey,
it's close for me as well.
What did I just say? West Coast teams going east tend to not play well, and also it's muggy as hell in Jacksonville. Teams struggle that don't play in Florida normally because it's so fucking gross.
Yeah, that humidity sucks.
The greatest quarterback of all time can't play in Miami. It is a known fact he can't play
pretty
in
well
Miami.
in Tampa. I mean,
played great in Tampa. He can't play in Miami. It is a known fact he can't play in Miami.
I just went and looked. I have them next to each other in my rankings. 14.6, 14.5 projected. James Robinson wins.
There you go. James Robinson. All right. This is the last question, and then I will fly through the show sheet. And then if there are any more questions,
sit here and look pretty.
Yeah, we'll just sit here and look pretty. I'll incorporate you. Don't worry. Okay, need to pick up Foreman, and he has 2 defenses and 2. Just drop your kicker.
I was going to say, I don't even know that we need to really answer this. No. Just drop whichever kicker is outdoors.
Drop Randy Bullock. His fat ass does not deserve a roster spot in the NFL or your fantasy.
I love that I'm streaming him in 3 leagues this week, and Joe's like, cut his
Randy
ass.
Bullock sucks. It's a revenge game. No, it's not. Randy Bullock can't kick. It's not a revenge game. At least Deonta Foreman can run. If a kicker has a revenge game, I'll eat my words. If Randy Bullock's top 10, I'll eat my words.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to it.
The only way he's top 10 is if Tennessee scores 9 times and he has 9 extra points. That's the only way. Is it possible?
5 times.
Is it possible? 100%. It is possible that the Titans score 9 times on Sunday. But yes, drop Randy Bullock. I don't like Graham Gano a lot either. But Graham Gano over Randy Bullock. Okay. I'm not even going to go over news and notes because that's just going to take up too much time. If you need to know news and notes, click on your player. How dare you hate on Fat Boy? Oh, yeah. Oh,
shit, if that's the case, I'm just going to stop writing it. God damn.
Yeah. Well, this is great. So, yeah, G hates Randy Bullock. Here's why. I think he had an 8-team parlay or something. Put $100 on it, I think, and it was 100 to win 1,200. He picked all the favorites that day, just straight up on the money line. He picked them all. He was 7 of 8, and it came down to Randy Bullock beating the Jets. He misses the field goal, and the Jets beat the Titans, and he lost out on the opportunity for $1,200. The one game where you think, like, of everything you put in the parlay, right? Titans against the Jets, you're like, oh, that's the luck. I don't need to worry about that one. That's the one he lost. Tough. Fat Boy Randy is a league winner. You watch it. No way. If Randy Bullock wins you a league, you better play the lottery the next day because you're the luckiest motherfucker on the face of the planet.
I just love that Cade just fits perfectly into this show.
If Randy Bullock wins you a league, play the lottery the next day. You know what? Go bungee jumping without a cord because you're not going to die. You'll
find a way to bounce back.
You'll find a way to bounce up because if Randy Bullock wins you a league, you're the luckiest motherfucker on the face of the planet. Okay. Thank you. I was going to say Dan Arnold. Thank you. Okay, here we go. 3-ups. Josh, Jacoby Myers scored a touchdown.
Finally, baby.
Welcome to the end zone, Jacoby. Kind of felt bad. Dude's neck was like broken or something on the field. I don't really.
I felt bad that they spelled his name wrong on the broadcast and said Jocoby. Get the man's name right when he scores his first touchdown, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, right? Cage dropping Gano out of spite. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Fat ass Brady got more points than his anti-vax quarterback. Hey, you know what, kid? You know, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that sentence. There's nothing wrong with that sentence. Josh also have Devonta Smith. He's the wide receiver 1 in fantasy over the last 2 weeks. He has finally turned the corner.
Curious if he has, because he's struggled, and we know rookies tend to pop, and looks like he's popping.
Yep.
Going to be a good test against Lattimore and the Saints this week.
Speaking of a rookie popping, Ramondre Stevenson looked kind of decent.
Dude, I spent so many rookie picks on him in Dynasty, and I'm getting all kinds of trade offers right now, and I love it.
He looks semi-decent, to say the least. Ryan, you're first up, Jacoby Myers.
Of course.
I didn't put him as my up because you guys already did, but congrats, Jacoby. First touchdown. It came from Brian Hoyer, of all people. Like, why does that have to happen?
Crazy.
Oh, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, that downside play for DeAndre Swift last week did not pan out well. 33
Neither
carries.
did your Mahomes pick.
Yeah,
either.
no, neither my Mahomes. But again, I did that one out of principle.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
that one out of principle. I said, I'm putting Mahomes as my downside till he proves me wrong, because I was 2 for 2. Actually, I was 3 for 3 on the season with Mahomes as my downside. So I was like, I'm going to do it till he proves me wrong. 5 touchdowns. Does that.
Yes.
Joe's got egg on his face this week.
5 touchdowns. Does that. But yeah, 33 carries for DeAndre Swift. Second most carries in a game this entire season. I imagine it's second to Derrick Henry, if I had to take
And also
a guess.
tied with second with Derrick Henry.
With Derrick Henry, obviously. Tyler Conklin, tight end 3, Dan Arnold, tight end 7, and even Freiermuth, who fumbled the game away for the tie. I do love this. I think Freiermuth fumbled it because he knew that he didn't want the Lions to be the first 0-17 team. He wanted them to be the first 0-16-1 team.
Perfect.
But Pat Freiermuth, what a guy. You enjoy being right on the low percentage tight ends. Get your shit together, fantasy football managers.
I just cannot believe Dan Arnold is continually available in more than 50% of fantasy leagues.
We talk all the time. Go get volume.
Yep.
Dan Arnold got it.
Dan Arnold has volume for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah,
I am curious to see how it plays out this week, though, with Shaughnessy being supposedly coming back from IR. So
I do have to say, because we were texting about this over the weekend about like low name tight ends that like no one drafted or late. The Hunter Henry call earlier in the year for the Gronkowski in the red zone looks good. Jonnu Smith is just injury ridden and has not figured out that offense yet. So that one hurts. Like, I was 50% right on one side. I'm hoping he comes back from the injury and can do something in the second half of the season. I'm not counting on it. I think I dropped him in one of my leagues.
I've definitely dropped him in a couple, sadly.
Yeah.
It hurt my heart.
So, Hunter Henry, though.
Yep.
I don't. Best friends with Mac Jones at this point. Like, he's crushing it.
Was it 5 or 6 straight weeks with a touchdown catch?
I think it's 6 straight weeks with a touchdown. Yeah. And that was something I got backlash for. It is like, he didn't score touchdowns in LA. What makes you think he's going to score it in?
Yeah, he only had touchdowns in his rookie year.
Yeah. I think it was 8 in his rookie year, and then he had like
a big year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a big rookie year.
But then he never scored touchdowns. It was like 4 and 5. Like, he didn't really score touchdowns. It was like, what makes you think he's going to score touchdowns? Where does New England use the tight end? Yep. It's like, that's all it is. Because he's 6'6", right? Like, he's a giant man.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah. My 3-ups. Hunter Renfrow, continuing to make me look good. Eric Kendricks, what a guy. A guy that no one ever talks about in IDP. 33 points in 4-eyed, I believe. And it was second to Devin White, who had 52.
What a game Devin White had.
I'd benched Devin White in one league for Fred Warner because Warner had been way more consistent. I won, thankfully, but the 37 points from Devin White on my bench was going to kill me if I didn't win that week.
I'll top that and make it even worse. There's my home league where we start one IDP just for shits and gigs, and I cut Devin White because I was tired of 10 points every week. So
okay, well, you're an idiot for that. You
don't. It's not 4-eyed scoring though. It's not 4-eyed scoring.
I don't
it's very
care.
sack heavy.
You don't cut Devin White
for Eric Kendricks.
Okay, you cut right. That's fine. Like, drop another guy for Eric Kendricks, dude. Like, why are you dropping Devin White?
We only play one IDP. I'm not using 2 roster spots on it. So.
Stupid. Ugh. All right, anyways. And then I say Deebo Samuel. I didn't watch most of the game. I just saw the catch where he caught it in between 3 defenders and then outran them for 40 yards.
Oh, yeah.
He's crazy.
That was the quickest I'd seen a human move away from anything in a while. He gassed those defenders.
He was their best running back
Unbelievable.
last week.
His vision is unbelievable.
He's so good, dude.
So good.
So good.
Absolutely.
I'm just glad he's staying healthy this year.
I picked 3 guys that have made me look really good this year, and Deebo is out of control right now. What wide receiver 3? Like, I thought he was just going to be a good wide receiver 2. He is literally in the same conversation as Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
yep.
That's nuts. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, what what is it? It's Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
I say yeah.
And the sad part is Cooper Kupp has scored 60 more fantasy points than Deebo Samuel.
And it was all in like the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah. It's crazy. And also, Jamar, I can't catch the ball without the white stripes. Chase is wide receiver 5. So thank you everyone for not drafting him. Josh, your 3 downs. The Steelers. They couldn't beat the Lions, but Pratt, we figured this out. Pat Frymuth fumbled away the ball so they could be the first 0-16-1 team. That was the grossest game I have ever
it was really bad.
Had the misfortune.
Mason Rudolph, not it.
Terrible.
Jared Goff,
not it.
Not it. Yeah, hold on. We talk about Mason Rudolph being bad. Imagine trading for Jared Goff. Like,
to be fair, they did get 2 first-round picks back on top of Goff. So
I agree. They got the shit end of that deal. But imagine, like, we say the Rams gave away 2 first-round picks. No, they won that trade in spades.
I'm gonna say they may not have felt that way after Monday night.
Oh my God, no, they won. Matt Stafford could play the game blind with his left arm, and he's still a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff, big miss for me among prop bets this week.
Jared Goff is so bad.
I think he had 30 yards in the 3rd quarter.
He did. He did.
So bad. Oh
so bad.
God.
Absolutely atrocious. Josh, your other down was the Bucks. It's cool they brought everyone back, but they're relying on vets, and the vets are old. Stamina is a concern. And they had no business losing to Washington, especially that they lost Chase Young mid-game. I'm not surprised they lost that game. I think it was Washington's like vindication off of losing in the playoffs last year. Like Heineke was playing on it with a chip on his shoulder that game, and also, why are we throwing a fucking Jaden Mickens? Why are we doing that on the first play of the game?
Well, I mean, they didn't have Godwin that week, right?
No, they had Godwin. He was in the game. It was Evans, Godwin, Tyler Johnson.
Okay.
Why is Jaden?
I know Godwin. I if I'm not mistaken, missed a lot of practice time too because he was a game time decision. So that's probably why they were trotting out Mickens and Jalen Darden and those guys. So
yeah, guess. It was Jalen Darden who dropped it. Guess who's never running a route in the offense again this year? Yep. Jalen Darden, who dropped a 2-yard Welker route.
He may have him cut.
Oh God, he's terrible. And then the Rams. God, I'm glad Odell Beckham really worked out for them so far.
Well, Odell wasn't going to get a lot of run this week.
I know.
I mean, he showed up on Saturday. Like, I just thought it was interesting.
You're telling me Odell Beckham showed up on Saturday? He's not running every route? He's not catching every pass?
But that one interception that Stafford threw where he just like heave-hoed it downfield, like that was just baffling.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. That reminded me of him throwing to Calvin Johnson in double coverage. That's what Odell Beckham does to a team. It forces you to force him the football. And if Stafford falls back into that bad pattern, we saw what that did to the Lions. That killed them.
It killed the Lions. It killed the Browns.
Yes. So,
I mean, I understand. Like, they made a big to-do about it on the broadcast. Like, oh, OBJ stopped. Like, well, that's what happens when you only have 2 days of practice. Like, you're still feeling each other out. Like, so I don't really put that so much on OBJ or even Stafford, because like when you look at that play, even Kupp had a couple people around him. So that ball was going to get picked off or batted down one way or the other.
Yeah, he stopped and Stafford overthrew him by like 10 yards. So
Yeah.
he could have been running full speed with turbo boost on. He wasn't catching up to that
wasn't
football.
catching that pass.
Yeah. Ryan, your 3 downs. Russ, that middle finger is not healed. I'm sorry. He's medically cleared. He is not physically cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. The Dolphins, you are mad that they're just now getting Albert Wilson involved?
My guy looked good.
Isn't I know that Sleeper has Will Fuller actually projected for points this week. Is he supposed to come on IR?
Albert Wilson is a non-existent factor because basically he does all the same things as Jalen Waddle, but Waddle does them better. So
absolutely,
he looked good though.
I feel like
I mean he's playing because they don't have anybody else.
Yep,
Parker's been out, Fuller's out, so yeah.
I feel like Albert Wilson to Ryan is James Prochet to me.
Oh, very
just kind of will him.
Yeah,
because we know they have skill.
Yep.
Teams just don't want to give them the shot. And Ryan, you also say the Falcons are getting blown out and have a Thursday game. Why risk Cordell Patterson? Do you know how much he means to my fantasy team?
I take that shit personally.
You selfish prick.
Think of the people. Think of the people, Arthur
Think of
Smith.
the me.
Think of the people,
Think
Arthur.
of the me.
Arthur Smith really showing how good of a head coach he can be.
Yeah, he's also showing his disrespect to me. It's something we're gonna have to talk about.
He's bad.
You don't get my guy hurt.
My first down, Trevor Lawrence. He's officially a bust.
Yeah, we're done with him already.
He's a bust.
I will say
he looks bad. Like
he is getting the Jared Goff treatment. He will no longer be on my stream of the week list, no matter how juicy the matchup is. Because if it wasn't last week, it wasn't happening. He should have been on the list this week, and I refuse to put him on. So.
He looks. It's not even the fact like it's rookie struggles, right? Like, oh, he's misreading things, timing's too fast. He's just missing, like plain.
That's the thing is he's missing.
Yeah, it's not like it's close or he's maybe not fitting into the tight windows. He's missing, like just straight up missing.
I mean, there's also something to be said for the fact that Dan Arnold and Jamal Agnew are leading this team in targets. Is he afraid to throw to these higher degree of difficulty passes? Like, there's a lot about all of this. So.
Yeah. I have the Rams, specifically their wide receivers. Hands are required to play the sport.
They had at one point, I know they had 5 drops in that game.
Well, they had 3 straight drives.
Well, statistically counted as 5 drops, but
they had
I feel like I saw about 35. So
yeah, they had 2 straight drives where Kupp dropped a third down pass and then Higbee dropped a third down pass that would have both been first downs. And then the drive after that, they got gifted a first down on third down, and then Ben Jefferson drops a wide open skinny post.
I got the first overall pick. I'm just sorry, running through this in my head. I got the first overall pick in next year's rookie draft for Trevor Lawrence in a single QB league. So I feel pretty good about that.
I mean, are you sure that Trevor Lawrence isn't better than any of these quarterbacks coming out this year?
But I'm saying I don't need a quarterback. I get to go get a position player in a single QB. So.
You can also stream quarterback, and that
single QB league. Okay,
yeah. That person's probably going to drop Trevor Lawrence at some point.
And now I get to pick him up again.
Yeah. And then my third down, Matt Stafford. I went into Monday Night Football needing 15 points from him and plus 2 IDPs combined. He waited till the fucking fourth quarter to get me there.
Yeah.
Sean McVay's a bum as well. I hate Sean McVay. I think he is wildly overrated. Sean McVay's a bum. Matt Stafford.
It's been a while since you've had to go off on Sean McVay.
I think it's just been a while in general since he's really laid into the Rams.
Yeah.
We needed week 11, apparently.
We did.
Dude, like.
It's a cleansing.
Robert Woods goes down, like one of my favorite receivers.
So now you can just full out hate that team with no worry.
But I like Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford. Like,
I
enjoy them. Odell Beckham can go shove it. And Sean McVay is just really, dude, like just are you afraid to draft in the first round because you've never scouted in your life? Or
is it McVay or is it Les Snead?
Yeah, fuck them picks.
Because Les Snead is the one that's pulling the strings as a GM. And,
I mean,
drafting said players.
I gotta feel Sean McVay has some say in those draft picks.
Except Les Snead had been bombing draft picks long before McVay got there.
Again, also true. Which, I mean, we've always said
because Snead was the one that took Jared Goff. So
yeah,
you mean 30 yards in the third quarter, Jared Goff? Electric number 1 overall pick, Jared. I mean, let's be honest though. Carson Wentz or Jared Goff, like they both suck. Like
who's playing better this year?
Okay, that out there. It literally Carson Wentz could play with a trash can on his head, and he would still be more accurate than Jared Goff.
Yeah,
we all collectively could be more accurate than Jared Goff. I throw a tighter spiral than Jared Goff. Which is incredible because I think he thinks it's an Olympic sport where it's skeet shooting and he thinks he's throwing the stuff up, whereas it's actually NFL football.
So here's a fun thing I'm pulling. Jared Goff is the QB 26, 1 spot behind Trevor Lawrence.
No, he's not. Wow. At least Trevor Lawrence can throw a spiral. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't see Jared Goff throw a single spiral on Sunday in Pittsburgh. Okay. Upside down signs here. Josh and I were 500 last week. Ryan was 3-1. Josh, you got Fields in home against Baltimore. A.J. Dillon in Minnesota. DJ Moore at home against the Washington football team. And Uzama in Las Vegas. Ryan, you got Tannehill at home against Houston, taking the personal vendetta tag away this week.
I flipped it back. I thought, I was gonna say I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt this week.
Yep. So bench Ryan Tannehill because he's gonna do nothing.
Because it's trash.
Yep. Michael Carter at home against Miami. I was gonna put him as well. I like that matchup. Brandon Cooks in Tennessee and Jeff Swaim against Houston. It's a gut feeling, and we've known what's happened with Ryan's gut feelings. They've all put up goose eggs this year. So don't start.
Tread lightly, folks.
This one's gonna be awful.
Yeah, this is gonna be bad. Joe Flacco, upside quarterback, Miami Dolphins.
Well, you got Lindsay OK stamp of approval this week.
Yeah. Bank it. First game he started last year, New England. What did he do? Finished as a top 10 quarterback. Over who, you ask? Cam Newton. Boom. Joe Flacco will be a top 15 quarterback this week. Deonta Foreman will be the RB1.
What was it, 150
That's just
3?
The RB1 or a RB1?
The RB1. No, he will. He will be an RB1. If I project him to be the RB1 and he was the RB1, I might quit the show. So
thanks, asshole.
Well, no, because I go out on a high note.
I said that one prediction.
Yeah, go out on a high note. And then I have T. Higgins in Las Vegas. Evan Ingram in Tampa. I really don't like many tight ends this week. I'm just going to be straight honest with you.
Not a ton of them.
I'm going off the fact
it's one of those, like, the really good ones have pretty decent matchups, so it's really, like, the chalk picks are there this week.
There. Yeah. And then I'm going with the fact I picked Evan Ingram because his last 2 games he scored a touchdown. Sure. That's the only reason I'm going Evan Ingram.
Yep.
And I'm putting in a bonus pick.
I love this. I saw
because I am guaranteeing a pick 6, Trayvon Diggs. If I never say this, because Trayvon Diggs, I don't know how many tackles he has in the season. It's probably 1.5. But
pull that up. Give me a second.
Please do. I will always say, and Ryan agrees with me, take DBs that are going to tackle, safeties, guys in the box, stuff like that. Trayvon Diggs, if you need a DB this week, I am guaranteeing you right now, Trayvon Diggs will have a pick 6. Guaranteeing you right now. Pick 6.
I love it.
Upside DB. He will have a pick 6 this week. And also, as much as I bust his balls, because I really think he's overrated because he does jump and peak on a lot of routes. Trayvon Diggs is fast. If there's one guy that can play one-on-one with Tyreek Hill deep, it's Trayvon Diggs.
This is the game he's been waiting on.
Yes. Josh, how many tackles?
28. So he averages just over 3 tackles a game.
That's actually more than I thought, but it's still terrible. I pegged him at like 2. I really thought he was 2. He's not a guy that's going to stick his nose in the box. He's not meant to be that guy.
It's 24 solo tackles.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that counting his assisted? Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has a lot. I mean, 24 to 4 in terms of solo to assisted tackles. So.
Yeah, no. Well, normally guys like that will get more solos than assists because he's not going to be in the pile as much.
Yeah, he's not in the box. No, I mean he doesn't have a single sack.
Well, it's going to be guys. It's going to be guys catching out routes, or it's going to be guys catching quick screens, and he's the guy tackling like immediately on the catch. Okay. So you'll see those guys like Darrelle Revis or guys like that maybe let up a couple balls here and there. Pushes out of bounds count as tackles in the stat book. So that's probably where a lot of his solos come from.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, there's your guarantee. That's the big swing this week. Trayvon Diggs guaranteed pick 6.
I can pull up his actual pass rushing numbers really quick. I'm actually kind of curious myself.
It's got to be like 2%, if that.
Yeah, he has not. There's only one DB on the Cowboys defense that has even rushed the passer.
Anthony Brown.
Keanu Neal.
Excuse me, one corner that has rushed the passer.
Anthony Brown.
Jordan Lewis.
Okay.
Slot.
Oh, he plays in the box sometimes though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that don't count. Downside, everyone was 500. Josh had a tie last week, so he's 2-1-1. Josh, you got Heineke in Carolina, Devonta Freeman in Chicago, Michael Pittman in Buffalo, and Kyle Pitts against the Patriots. Once again, New England is the number 1 defense against tight ends.
They're going to shut him down.
Yeah. Who else is there to shut down?
Exactly.
Right? Especially if Cordell Patterson doesn't play.
If my guy can't go.
Technically, they're number 2 in fantasy against tight ends.
Oh, in one of my leagues, they're number 1.
I say Arizona just leapfrogged them, I think, this week. Yeah. So,
no. Ryan, you were 500 last week. You have Carson Wentz in Buffalo, Zach Moss against Indy, Deontay Johnson in LA against the Chargers.
Wrong.
Yeah, I thought you'd hate that one.
What if Mason
Rudolph plays again? I'm gonna be so hurt.
I'm hearing it's Rudolph, but
yeah,
just everything I'm following.
And then Gerald Everett against Arizona. I do have to say, I love that you guys really took big swings on the running backs this week with Devonta Freeman and Zach Moss as your downside.
I was looking, and I'm trying to go through, look at matchups, and I'm just like,
oh, I agree.
Look how many Zach Moss questions we got today.
That's 2.
And that's the thing. I was gonna put Zach Moss. Literally, one of the first RBs that I wrote down when I do my notes, like it was Zach Moss. Then I look on the sheet, Ryan's already got him. I'm like, God damn it!
Right.
Yeah. So I went David Montgomery because I literally am like, oh, I know. I don't think I win this one, but I'm like, maybe Baltimore channels.
But it's worth being right.
maybe Baltimore channels their inner like mid 2010s, early 2010s.
It's not happening, but
it's not going to happen. But maybe they do. Maybe Joe Flacco and the Ravens defense revert back to 2011 form just for a day, and that happens on Sunday.
There we go.
Cam Newton against the Washington football team.
No surprise.
I mean, it's just required. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I actually like Cam this week, and I was very tempted to put him as my upside, but I was like, I'm not getting into that fight with Joe this week, so I'll just write about it.
Well, we all know what happened last time.
I know. Literally, the first sentence is, I know I'm going to be wrong, and Joe is going to co-sign that fact, but here's why I kind of like Cam Newton this week.
And then Ryan put him as his downside the week after, or his upside the week after.
Yep.
And then Kira put him as her cash grab the week after. And it's almost like none of you had listened for 13 straight weeks.
And then after we all gave up, he hit 3 tutties in week 17.
In week 17, where fantasy football is irrelevant.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I have A.J. Brown against Houston. This is me strictly going off the fact that Deonta Foreman will score 3 touchdowns. That's strictly.
But you know what, though? That's valid. I mean, that's why Houston doesn't give up a ton of points to wide receivers.
Same thing we say about the Jets.
Is because of the run game. Well, I just realized I have 3 giant swings outside of Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Darren Waller. I love Jesse Bates. My brother will yell at me to the end of the time he doesn't think Jesse Bates is good safety. He's a top 5 safety in the NFL.
He was the only tight end that I strongly considered like fading. Like top tier tight end. Yeah. Then when I saw Pitts' matchup, I was like, I'm going Pitts.
Oh, it's not even, no, it's not even a question. If none of you put Pitts, that was me 1,000%. 1,000%. Ryan, your stream of the week, speaking of that Atlanta game, Mac Jones in Atlanta, Dan Arnold against San Francisco. Is that like the third straight week of Dan Arnold?
Nope, I won't do anybody consecutively, though. I might just put Dan Arnold for the rest of the damn season.
I'm actually curious, Ryan, because I know on our show sheet you always add in like how many points they had last week. Have you actually been tallying them up? Like you could pull that up quickly, like where your stream of the week currently ranks?
Yep. I always put it in the video. QB 14, tight end 17, and defense 7.
Okay. Well, still knocking it out on defense as you usually do. So.
Except
you just need one big blow up tight end week and you're already in like.
So I will say I've hit tight ends 4 out of 5 for the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I was 5 out of 5 on defense, but did karma bite me in the ass last week? On
-2. Actually, if you just didn't stream a defense at all,
you were better than. If you forgot to put a defense in. And then to make matters even worse, my number 2 for the week, I was on the Joe train, was the Raiders. So I had -2, -2. My streams of the week, my top 2 defenses were the worst 2 defenses in fantasy football last week. So
I lost $50 on the Raiders money line.
Yeah, so you can't win them all, but defense had been very good this week. And you're looking at the 5 I pick. I've hit on 30 so far this season, whereas tight ends are actually catching up now because of how good I've been the last couple of weeks. I've hit on 24. And only 17
people aren't getting with the business, man.
Exactly. Just keeping in mind, these are always guys on Wednesday who are available in more than 50% of leagues. Like I said, I tend to do myself a disservice. I won't pick a guy in consecutive weeks, but I might be done with that rule for Dan Arnold because I'm just going to keep stringing him. So,
well, like I said, this is going to be a telling week with O'Shaughnessy back. So
it is. So O'Shaughnessy back, and it's San Fran, who's not bad against the tight end. I just think the volume is going to be there. So we're going to see.
Sure.
They put up that stat. Fred Warner is 56% completion percentage.
Yeah,
which is the lowest amongst linebacker coverage in the NFL.
So like I said, this is a big week for me to be wrong. But I'm starting to think volume wise, he's matchup proof because Trevor Lawrence won't throw to anybody else. So
hey, Higbee caught a touchdown last week, and we saw that's all he needed. Hi, Doug. G agrees. Bates sucks, but he does say can't wait for his downfall, so he's up there.
There you go. He's now conceding that he's up.
Not conceding. He also wanted to add in that Brian Hoyer checks in, automatic N'Keal catch, and now an automatic Jacoby Myers touchdown.
There you go. Yeah.
Who's better, Brian Hoyer, Mac Jones? We may never know, but Mac Jones. Not even a question. Okay, thriving on props. Thursday night, Kyle Pitts under 55.5 receiving yards. I'm surprised I'm surprised that's 120 points. Like I feel like it's not out of the question for him to be.
It's like 63 yards in the prop lobby, so I already have a few with that in there under.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that.
His weekly yardage numbers because I want to see actually how many times he's gone over 55.5.
I mean, over the last few weeks, I imagine it's a lot. But before you get there, Ryan, you have Jacoby Myers over 50.5. I have Hunter Henry, over 2.5 receptions.
Yeah, I mean, the last 5 games, he's gone over that number 4 times.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
And that's when obviously he's picked up his game.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's not surprising that the
hard part about picking against him is that he can do it all in one catch is the biggest worry. So
But that's
my thought process though is, and again, we talk about this all the time. They're gonna put JC Jackson on him. Why wouldn't they?
It's not even that. Even if they don't put JC Jackson, if he spreads out wide, JC Jackson's on him, no question.
Yeah.
If he did, and shout out Donovan Peoples-Jones for 0 catches last week. I appreciate you. Told you.
Glad I could tee you up for that one, Joe.
Told you. But yeah, you're right. You're right. If he spreads out wide, it's JC Jackson. But regardless, JC Jackson has never covered the tight end so far this year. Patriots are still the second best fantasy defense against tight ends. It's because of Kyle Duggar, Devin McCourty, these guys that are just so good at covering the tight end. So, yeah, I am shocked that that's a big swing to 120. I feel like that should be more like the 110, 105 range. Yeah, I'm shocked at the under right there.
He's still only in line on 28.4% of his routes. So.
Not a tight end. He is a slot wide receiver.
I mean, he's a slot or out wide. So
all right, Ryan, your stream of the week video dropping Thursday morning, plus a Thrive Fantasy Props on Saturday. Tomorrow, 7:30, Club Dynasty with Josh and Zach Smith. This week's guest is TBD. Don't forget to, this starts a different day on Saturday, obviously.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm reading off the show sheet. I never do that. Sunday night DFS preview with this week's Oh Captain, My Captain, Josh and Doug, who's in the chat, Oklahoma Doug. Drops sometime Saturday afternoon, correct?
Sure, that's the goal. I'm not 100% sure if we're doing the Sunday night game or the Monday night game yet. I'll let Doug let me know, but we'll have Oh Captain, My Captain this week for one of those, and it'll drop sometime Saturday afternoon before I head into work. So
stay tuned to the socials, people. In the beginning,
and it's a good lead-in because DFS and Chill now on
Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. Ryan and Kiro preview the Week 11 slate with Aaron Larson. He has been on that show before?
Yes, he has. No, he's been on our show.
He's been on our show.
Not on DFS and Chill.
But not DFS and Chill. Good guy, Aaron.
Yes.
Good guy.
Good dude.
Good guy, Aaron. Yeah, no, he's a very good guy. Fantasy footballers and team rise or fall. Also, you won't be seeing us next Wednesday night.
Sorry to our loyal viewers.
Yes.
We love you guys so much, but this has been a constant now for
tradition.
Us for I think it's going on 5 years now. So Joe typically heads back home to be with family, which again, completely respect and we take care of family here. So want to make sure that we all have kind of a good mental break. Do not hesitate to reach out to us on the socials.
Yep.
We will gladly answer any questions, but we will not have a preview show. I think actually I'm going to probably put together like a short video to kind of put as like a featured video on our YouTube page. Just as kind of we appreciate everybody following us and supporting us, but this is just kind of a week for us. And if anybody knows me, they know that Thanksgiving is hands down my favorite holiday of the year. So I always try to take personal time for myself. And obviously I want to give Joe and Ryan and everybody else on the team time for their families and as well. So
I like the fried turkey that I get at Maggie's parents' house.
Oh.
I could care less for the holiday. It's just an excuse to eat a lot.
You son of a bitch. That's the only thing that matters.
But I come from an Italian family. What do we do on Christmas and Christmas Eve?
You eat a lot.
Eat a lot. So that's all we do. No pun intended next week. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, which I believe is December 1st.
13th.
December 1st.
No, November 31st.
There is no such thing as November 31st.
Wow, I wrote that wrong on my calendar. Okay. Oh, shit.
No
so
such thing.
December 1st.
No such
Holy
thing.
shit. I'm literally looking at my calendar now, and I'm like, okay, this is why I don't handwrite
No
shit.
such thing as November 31st.
All right. I can't believe I just said that. Holy shit.
We'll be back We'll be back on
stop drinking.
On the first Wednesday of December.
Yes.
We will be back. But also, I believe we are doing Start Sit Different Day next Saturday. So you will still see us for Start Sit Different Day the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. So after
27th.
That
one I know is right. So
yeah, that one's right. Well, there's 27 days in every single month, so you can't really be wrong about that.
Can't miss on that one.
Can't really miss on that one. Kate, if you have any questions about Thursday night, please drop it in. If not, join us on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern if you can, because that's when we'll answer everything again as well. That's when we do our start sit questions and any trade questions as well. If you can't, DM us on Twitter, tag us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Just shoot us in DMs because we just have to wrap up now. But yes, our Q&As will come on Saturday. So yes, if it can wait till after Saturday, cool. But again, we won't be here for another 2 weeks. So I'd recommend Saturday.
But now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you're right. I recommend doing it on Saturday. If not, just tweet us, DM us.
Yeah, tweet at us.
Whatever. Yep, totally. Either way. But yes, everyone, enjoy your Thanksgiving. We know we're a week early. We'll probably say it again on Saturday. But enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday. Eat some turkey. Again, any pressing questions, any of us are more than willing to help and ask. We will all have our phones on us, obviously. So just shoot us a DM, shoot us a tweet. Don't matter. We'll be sure to get back to you. Tonight as well, Fantasy, our Fourth in Frames from our friends at Fantasy and Frames, going on in 30 minutes, 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 o'clock this week.
Yep. And that is everything, ladies and gentlemen, in an hour and a half.
That's a long show, but we gotta
Worth
give
it.
the people
a lot of questions this week.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to the show sheet until the 51st minute, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's been a hot minute.
40 minutes on the show sheet, then 50 on questions.
Yeah.
As long as it was entertaining and you guys enjoyed, and I made an ass of myself, it was a good show.
And November 31st.
I mean, I said there were 31 days in November, so it is
November 31st. We will see you on February 30th this year.
Yep.
Super excited for our February 30th show that happens every single year. Some people call it March 2nd.
Yeah, not us.
Not us. February 30th. All right. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. You can follow Josh at the 100 Sony and Ryan at the Fantasy 5, myself at Joe_Zolo, and Club Fantasy at Club Fantasy FFL on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Thank you to all of our new listeners and to everybody that joined. If you missed the show, obviously live, you can listen back on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you want to listen. Apparently, Overcast is a popular platform that people listen to us on. We have 3% of our listeners in Canada, so I don't know if that's a Canadian thing. So go Canada. Go British Columbia Lions. That's the only. The Toronto Argonauts.
Boom.
LFG Argos, because I know that is actually what they nicknamed their team, the Argos. Always remember, defense wins championship, offense wins fantasy football. We will see you in 2 weeks.